Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into some absolutely incredible breaking news. We are talking about the historic return of the cheetah to India and the fascinating multi-layered science and conservation effort making it all happen. It's a real story of loss, of huge international cooperation, and a completely ambitious ecological revival. So let's get right into the facts. 20. That's the magic number right now. That is the total number of cheetahs that have recently been relocated to quarantine enclosures at Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh. And this isn't just some random group of animals either. This was incredibly carefully orchestrated. We had 12 arriving from South Africa, and they're joining 8 that were brought over a bit earlier from Namibia. That's 20 individuals carrying the literal weight of an entire species return to a massive country. And honestly, that unprecedented number begs a massive question. How do you actually bring a species back from extinction in a specific region? You can't exactly just put a bunch of wildcats on a plane and cross your fingers. Orchestrating a multinational relocation to revive a vanished species means we really have to understand what we're trying to save. And to do that, we need to zoom out a bit, look at the biology, and dig into the history. Section 1. The ultimate speed machine. Before we can fully grasp the history of this conservation effort, we've got to understand what makes the cheetahs so biologically unique and why they need such specific habitats to survive. They are, famously, the world's fastest land animal. Even just looking at their posture, you can see a creature built entirely for momentum. Pretty much every single physical characteristic they have is an evolutionary masterclass in speed. We're talking 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. That's faster than most sports cars. They have this super slender body, incredibly long legs, and a small round head specifically to cut down on aerodynamic drag. Visually, they're unmistakable, right? Those distinctive black spots on their tan fur act as the absolute perfect camouflage in dry grass. And since they are strictly carnivorous hunters, all these biological adaptations are perfectly tuned for high-speed pursuits of small to medium-sized antelopes, mostly gazelles and impalas. It's all about explosive bursts of speed rather than prolonged endurance. Section 2. A history of decline. So we just talked about their incredible physical speed, but the sad truth is, no matter how fast the cheetah is, it simply couldn't outrun human impact and habitat loss. Historically, Asiatic cheetahs roamed a massive, incredibly diverse Indian habitat. We're talking from as far north as Punjab, all the way south to the Ternavlidi district in Tamil Nadu, from Gujarat and Rajasthan in the west, stretching way east to Bengal. They thrived in scrub forests, dry grasslands, savannas, you name it. But over the decades, their global footprint drastically shifted and shrank. The crucial and frankly devastating turning point in India's ecological history was 1952. Despite once thriving across almost the entire subcontinent, this was the year the cheetah was officially declared extinct within India. An apex predator just wiped entirely from the local ecosystem. Globally, the picture is just as shocking. 9%. That is literally all that is left. Today, cheetahs occupy a mere 9% of their historic global range. They are clinging to existence in these highly fragmented pockets, places like the savannas in the Tanzanian Serengeti, the arid mountain ranges of the Sahara, and some hilly desert terrains in Iran. The vast empires they used to roam have been reduced to fractions, which makes every single surviving population absolutely critical to our global ecosystem. Section 3. Global conservation efforts. To really understand the stakes behind these modern efforts, we have to look at their official classification. African cheetahs are officially listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List. And look, that isn't just some bureaucratic label. It is an internationally recognized red flag. It's science telling us we need immediate, coordinated action right now, before vulnerable slips into endangered, or worse, extinct in the wild. Which perfectly explains the logistics behind the current relocation and why that first batch of 8 cheetahs came from Namibia. Namibia isn't just any country. It has rightfully earned the title of the cheetah capital of the world. It boasts the largest population of these big cats anywhere on Earth, making it the most viable, critical partner for India's repopulation project. Namibia is also home to an absolute powerhouse of ecological protection, the Cheetah Conservation Fund, or CCF. Founded back in 1990 and headquartered right there in Namibia, the CCF was the brainchild of Dr. Lori Marker. She specifically moved to the region to directly combat one of the biggest threats to the species, which is farmer-cheetah conflict. Because when predators threaten local livestock, they're often killed by farmers protecting their livelihood. By addressing the economic needs of those local farming communities alongside the wildlife, the CCF has grown into this amazing international center of excellence, completely dedicated to conserving cheetahs and the delicate ecosystems they rely on. It's wild to think about how the journey to this moment spans decades. We start with the local tragedy in 1952 when the cheetah vanished from India. Then, we see a spark of international mobilization with the founding of the CCF in 1990. And finally, that continuous, relentless effort brings us to today, the incredible arrival of those 20 cheetahs from 2 different African nations settling into their quarantine enclosures at Kuno National Park. It really is decades of history culminating in this exact moment.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, consider this for a second. These ultimate speed machines have finally returned to Indian soil. But what ongoing, monumental efforts are going to be required to make sure they actually thrive once again? Reintroducing them is a massive victory for sure. But protecting their new habitat, managing local ecosystems, and preventing history from repeating itself, well, that might just be the hardest race the cheetah has ever run. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this incredible topic today. Keep learning, keep asking those big questions, and I'll see you in the next explainer.